Right, so I'm DJ producer in the trance scene, releasing music on Cold Harbour recordings. DJing about the UK and the rest of the world. Since about 2010, that's when I first started like opening up a laptop and messing about making music, and then it was probably, I did that for a couple of years, and then 2012 was when I joined SEM and did the 9-month music production course, and then after that, that's when I moved into the studio at the end in the summer of 2013, and that's where I've been since, just practicing most days. It's a lot, I guess, looking back, like a lot of trial and error, just trying to make track after track, getting them signed to like smaller labels, and then slowly working my way up, collaborating with people in the trance scene, working with people as well in the trance scene, like other producers, watching how they work, learning stuff, watching tutorial videos, and just getting better, I suppose, over the years. Literally worked my way up little by little, and then eventually got track signed to Cold Harbour, and then that's when I changed my name into Daxson, and then since then I've just been concentrating on that project. There were Marcus was supporting my music on his radio show. He does a weekly 2-hour mix, global DJ broadcast, and he was like supporting my music on there quite a lot. So I'd always send my music to the A&R in the hope that I would get signed to Cold Harbour, but that I must have sent them so many demos over the years and didn't get any luck. And then eventually I made a track called Sky Garden, which was different, and that, like I was certain that they were going to sign it, but I remember I sent it to the A&R, and I'm sure I sent it like 3 times and I didn't hear anything back. So I sent it directly to Marcus, and his reply was something like, "Wow, love this, like definitely sign it." And then they started talking about this idea that he had to like start something fresh exclusively for Cold Harbour, and so I was a bit against it at first. I was thinking like, I like worked all these years just to get on this label. Now I'm getting my track on the label, and it's not going to be under my name. It's going to be something else. So it felt like a strange decision for me. But they gave me like their thoughts on it and how it could work for me, like getting gigs and stuff in the future. People might buy onto a new name, and so I took their advice, and it like has definitely been the right decision now, looking back over the last 3 or 4 years. There's probably been a few, like, so when I remember I got my first track signed to Flashover Recordings, which is Ferry Corson's label, who's a big name in the trance scene, and like that was sort of like a big moment for me, like thinking, oh, like this is like a bigger label than what I've ever been on. That was exciting, but like I soon realised that things like that, it like wasn't enough to get me gigs, that you have to do even more. So I don't know, maybe just this year, like recently, like the last few months has been another turning point where I've been getting really good support, really good feedback from the label and Marcus, and just realisation that the sort of last few years are coming together, and that what I've been doing is working. I guess, yeah, just sort of realise that you're sitting here in the studio and you're making music that at the time you love. Like I'm always loving like life when I'm working on music and stuff, and then the track gets released and maybe it doesn't do as well as what you hope. And then other times it does better, but yeah, like sometimes you can just feel like you're making music and nobody is listening to it, or that like nobody's appreciating it and stuff. But then like this year and the last couple of years, it's been the opposite. It's been like, oh, like I can feel like the momentum growing, and I can feel like I'm making progress big progress in the scene, and that people are like actually enjoying the music that I'm making, which is great. It's like makes me really motivated to get in here even more. 2 recent ones, Creamfields this year. Played in the Pepsi Max Arena, and I was on first at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on the Friday, which is like the second day. Or they have like a silent disco on the Thursday, and then so like everything starts properly on the Friday. So I was on first, and like I didn't know what to expect, because I knew it's a big arena, the Pepsi Max. It's like maybe like 5,000, and yeah, well obviously it was dead when it opened because the doors hadn't opened yet, but then by the end of the set it was really busy, and like it was actually amazing, like playing in front of that many people, like my own music and stuff. That was great. And then just like 2 weeks ago, I was playing at Ministry of Sound in London. Again, I was on first. I was playing at 12:30 till 1:30 before Marcus as well. And I wasn't too sure how that was going to go because obviously it's an empty club, and it was completely empty. And by the end of my like second track, the room was full. They opened the doors and people just came spilling in. It's quality. That was such a buzz to play in the Ministry of Sound. I always feel like I've had it a lot easier for some reason. I see a lot of people online complaining that, and I don't know. For me, I just feel as though everything's just gone smoothly so far, to a certain extent. Like, yeah, I've had setbacks by tracks not getting signed, but at the time, I don't think it bothered me. I just got on with it and moved on to the next track, I think. But yeah, there's been some setbacks, I guess. Like, but I can't really think of many, to be honest. I'm always trying to think of the positive things as well. But yeah, like not getting track signed, not hearing back from labels, but I just got used to that eventually, and now it doesn't really happen. But I guess that's one of the main things you gotta sort of toughen up in any sort of music industry, don't you? So next is a remix for Gareth Emery and Ashley Wallbridge, Lionheart. That's coming out on Garuda, which is Gareth's label. That's like, I'm really proud to get a track on there because the Garuda nights, they used to do them at Sankey's, and that's what sort of got me into this scene, like back when I first moved to Manchester, going out to them nights. So to be asked to remix, well, what happened was that we were asked to remix one track, and the one, I've done 2 remixes for him. There's one coming out at the end of the month, but the first one that's coming out, I did it as just a bootleg for Creamfields, and then I played it at Creamfields and took a video of it on Instagram, tagged Gareth Emery in it, and the next day I bumped into him at Creamfields, and he was like, "Oh, what was that bootleg that you played yesterday?" I was like, "Oh, it's a remix of Lionheart that I did just for yesterday." He goes, "Oh, you gotta send me that." So like I sent it to the A&R guy, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Yeah, we want to release it next month, as in the end of this month." Got a deadline of 24 hours to finish it. I was like, oh, I had it in the middle of like a proper busy week, so I had to like drop everything that I was doing, finish that off. And yeah, so that's coming out next month. And then the 6th of December, my next one I'm called Harbour recording, Sonder, which I actually made over a year ago now. That was last November, and I actually wrote that one in my bedroom in my house. I'd ordered a takeaway, and they said it was going to be 2 hours. So I was just sitting there like thinking, what should I do with my time? Like, I might as well make music. You know, I could potentially write a track that's going to make my whole year better next year. So I wrote that track with that in mind, and the takeaway actually took 3 hours to come. And in that time I'd wrote Sonder, just as like a rough idea, which has been one of my biggest tracks this year. Like. So it's been good. That track has helped build momentum as well because it's been played as an ID most of this year. So nobody knew who was behind it. Just knew the track. And then now it's been announced. It's been featured on a In Search of Sunrise compilation, and then it's getting the full release next month. That's hard to draw and think of that, but I was playing in Prague, like 2017, was it? No, 2018. And it was a 4-hour set. It was proper intimate. Like, they were literally right there, like all over the decks. And there was a guy and a girl, like, all over each other. And like they were like, look, like you could tell they were enjoying it, but they were like enjoying each other as well. And like, they were basically like, well, the hands like were everywhere. Yeah, they were basically like, he was basically like, but like, say like I'm DJing like there, like literally right there, like right in front of me. But they were having the best time ever. Everyone was. It was class. I loved it. This is the worst portrait ever, by the way. Wait. Looks like I've got a dicky bow tie on or something. A up for it crowd that like recognise your music for sure. So so at Ministry of Sound the other week when I was like mixing in Sonda, my new track, like it's got a distinctive intro, it's got certain sounds that, and like people started cheering like when they heard like that mixing in, and that's always exciting. Like they know your music, it's not even released yet, and like they're excited to hear it. Like you can see everyone's phones getting out and stuff. And then there's another one that I did a mashup of MK17 with my track Culture Shock. And started mixing that in as well, and like same thing again. Like people are like, oh, like turn up the front, like oh, like that. So that's a class to see. Like haven't really done any vocal tracks, but like singles. If I did one, then I'd like to like that would be amazing to see people like singing the words to like your song and stuff. To definitely understand that there is no shortcut to it really. That it does take years to get it right and practice, and to be prepared to have like the knockbacks, the rejections off labels, and that nothing's going to happen overnight unless you're really, really talented and meet the right people at the right time, I guess. Otherwise, it's going to take years, and just have the patience to do that. And like I've been told, like it's better to grow slowly as well, not too slow, but you know what I mean, like rather than overnight success, because then it can end as quickly as it started. If you build up slowly, then you're slowly building up a solid fan base, then you can go places, I guess. Like I remember when I'd finished the course, and like I was so desperate to like, it was all about DJing. Like I love producing, but like I didn't know how to do it properly, like, do you know what I mean? So there was like an option to start using an engineer as well. And like I know people in the scene that have done it, and they did shoot ahead of me, and it was frustrating because I'm like they're not making their own music, but I was, but it wasn't as good as theirs. But I'm so glad that I took the long route, because now I'm making my own music. Like I'm mastering it. I don't have to spend money on mastering as well, or money on an engineer, and like I'm fully in control. Whereas some of the other guys are relying on people. They've got to like. I would hate to like rely on someone like an engineer. So my advice would be to stick at it and just learn as much as you can. Just so you're in that position where you can do it yourself. But I guess there's nothing wrong with using engineering as well, but just you'd be in a better position in the long run, I think.
That's good.
So next I'm playing up in Newcastle at Cosmic Ballroom. Then the following Saturday the 14th December, I'm in Tokyo, Japan. And then after Christmas, Saturday the 27th of December in Manchester at Joshua Brooks. Then the next night in Montreal, at Circus Montreal. And then at the start of the new year, I'm in Groove Cruise in Miami to Mexico.
That's a wrap.